Welcome to East by West Farms. Here we grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Today I'm going to transplant the single seed challenge. This is our single seed challenge 2023. The plant is snake gourd or Sapang de Sicily. It's also called Cucuzzi or cucuzza. We started the seeds indoor in February, have been babied it through different weather conditions, also transplanted into a small cardboard box to have it, the roots to have more room to grow. This week is week 9 since the seeds started. The weather has been quite warm actually in Texas. There's no danger of frost for the next 10 days. That will get us to the Easter almost. We are safe to transplant this into the ground. The location I choose for the single seed challenge is in front of the deck. Quite a few reasons for that. First is that Cucuzzi needs some strong trellis, and in this case it probably will grow up and along the deck and cover this side of the deck. And that's what we want because that side is west. And in summer, it will get very hot because the setting sun, the west sun is very hot. Last year, we grew loofah gourd in this location, and it grew up there, provide very nice shade for the single white. The second reason that I choose this spot, this is a high traffic area, so we will see the plants pretty much every day, multiple times, and that gives us the opportunity to observe it, and if there's anything that is not right, we can correct it right away. Since it's single seed challenge, obviously we want to see it come to fruition. The third reason I choose this location is because it's right underneath the roof of the deck. That means that we will get the rainwater collected by the roof and dumped in this area. Squash are heavy, requires lots of water, and we can use the rainwater as much as possible. Over here, we got quite good rain this spring, so that means the soils are pretty saturated, and the clay here holds the water pretty well. When it's dry and hot, actually we got quite a lot of dew from the clay releasing the water, and the roof actually serve as kind of like a water or dew harvesting mechanism. Even when it's very hot and dry, in the morning there will be condensation that dripping from the roof, and that we definitely want to capture that for the squash. The last but not the least reason is that this strip of land actually is very fertile. The chicken like to hang out over here. Of course, now we have fenced it off so that the chicken cannot hear and scratch the plants up. It also has been cultivated for the last 2 or 3 years. We see huge earthworm when I was digging over here. Squash need a lot of fertilizer and a very nutritious soil, so this is a perfect spot for it. This spot is where I'm going to dig a hole and plant the Cucuzzi. Right now you can see it's pretty weedy. Actually, it's not weedy. It's the sunflowers that we grew last year, self-sprouted. So these are the green manure for us. Basically, I just need to clean all the weed and put them aside and let them decompose to provide the nutrition. And I also see some thistles that self-sprouted from last year. They are kind of like wheat everywhere, but they actually grow very well. I like to cook with them. So they are not wheat, but I don't need to save them because they're going to come out everywhere. For digging, I find the easiest way for this heavy clay is to use a digging fork. That goes in much easier. Since squash is heavy feeder, I will bury some of the chicken poop beddings in here, and that should give it a boost of nutrition for the squash once it starts to grow vigorously. So now I put the soil back up. The advantage of putting the squash in a cardboard box is I can just cut the box without disturbing the soil. And that should do. So that kind of force the soil to, the root to spread out and spread to reach more for more nutrition. So that's what it looks like. The squash actually is in a mound, so that if we get too much rain, the squash will still drain well and it's not water logged. I left some of the sunflower seeds here, and probably since I disturbed the soil, more sunflower seeds will come up, and they will grow actually quite tall, and that kind of serve as a stalk for the squash to climb up to the deck over here and then up to the roof. I will try also plant some beans around here that serve as the nitrogen fixer for the squash. So essentially what I have is a modified three sister system here. Instead of corn, I have sunflowers, squash, and the bean that will give us a very good production of snake gourd this year. In this video, I transplanted our single seed challenge, which is snake gourd. I explained the reasons that we choose the location for the snake gourd. We considered the sun orientation, the water, the traffic that way, how frequently we visit the site and how much rainfall or the water that we can get from the rainfall and the dew. This point is a very good location for it. We'll also follow the Three Sister planting guide this year and see how that help with the production of the snake gourd. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumb up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it down below. If you have not done so, please hit the subscribe button to follow our journey with the East by West Farms.